Don't think your plan is already started. We spoke to Regan Griffiths, your players all and your staff were in yesterday getting yourselves ready to go. I suppose at the end of the day you have to take that medicine, what happened at the weekend, and be ready, and off you go again for the next challenge.
Yeah, that's the nature of the game. That's the nature of the game. We let ourselves down, particularly in one area on Saturday. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen again, because they're cheap goals. We've got to show the same level of commitment to the cause, if you like. But we've got to be more consistent across the piece, and if we do that, then we've got a chance. It doesn't matter where you go. But that's the challenge in front of us.
You talked about your goals that you conceded. You're talking about you got really punished from set plays. I think it just shows how crucial and vital they are in football. Even at the weekend, West Ham scored in the 90-odd minute to get a point. And again, that is the key, whether they're for you or against you.
Yeah, but I said to the lads, 30% of all goals are scored from set pieces. And that's the start. I think it's even higher in Leagues 1 and League 2. It's about 36, 37%. So we know that they're an important area, and we let ourselves down on Saturday. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen again.
So as you build up towards your next port of call, which is Wigan, how can you help your players? What can you do in this sort of 48 hours before you kick off again?
I think the first thing is they've got to know that they're under absolutely no pressure from me or any of the staff. They've got to understand that they've got to want to run around, they've got to want to play football, and they've got to want to die for the cause. They've got to need to know what it means, and that's, I've got to make sure that they understand that, and I think they do. And then we'll start with football and what we need to do to beat Wigan, and that's been the message.
6 changes made at the weekend. There's been all sorts of setbacks, all sorts of things that you've had to cope with. Many people might not know what's happened ahead of kick-off time. But touch wood and fingers crossed, I suppose you're just hoping that you can sort of get something like a settled team and a settled system between now and the end of the season, which would surely give you a lot more hope and help to get out of where you are.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said that we've got an injury crisis, because it's easy for managers to say that. The fact is we have got one, but then I don't want to say anymore, really, because people see it as an excuse.
Well, the facts are there, aren't they?
Yeah,
not just injuries, there's all sorts of other things that have gone wrong that you've had to cope with. But again, like I said to Regan Griffiths, it could make you and your staff stronger.
No, listen, every challenge you'll see all of us, so I won't have it any other way, meet it head on. And I'm telling you, we've had some challenges, some ones that you just wouldn't even believe is likely, never mind the amount of them. But then that's the challenge. That is the challenge. Like I say, I'm not gonna sit here and harp on about it, because it is what it is. They are facts. It's not my opinion, it's not an excuse, that's what's happening. We've got to make sure that doesn't even come into our thinking, come into our heads. Would it help if it resolved all these injuries? Of course it would. It would give us more, but it hasn't. So you just have to take your medicine and get on with it, and not make it an issue. Because that's where we're at.
I'll just finish off then, because I don't want to keep harping on about that. But just can you bring us up to date with Billy Sass-Davis and Tom Lowry's situation? They were the latest two to miss out.
Tom phoned me Saturday morning saying he was ill. He had been ill. He was in the day before. I think he's got some sort of virus. So we'll see how he is. Billy had a scan late on Friday night, and he's got DVT, so he's out for the season. And both of them were playing Saturday, so would they have made a difference? I'm sure they would have. But then that's the challenge. When one door closes, another one opens, and we've got to make sure we walk through the door, not just leave it there. That's the It's always the challenge. It's always the challenge.
Billy Sass-Davies going out. Zach Williams having a torrid time with an illness. Touch wood and fingers crossed he's on the road to recovery. A couple of your other central defenders went out before the transfer window shut. You're a little bit short in the numbers there. The free agent area is still available. Is that something you assess? Is there a hope that there might be something in there or not?
Yeah, we've made contact with 4 centre-halves and they've all said thanks but no thanks. We've got one training with us and we'll see where we get to. It's not imminent by a long stretch. He's looking at us, we're looking at him. There's a fitness issue, so it's not going to be resolved in the next few weeks, that's for sure.
Next stop, Wigan.
Yeah, there's only one better team to at the minute to win. You know, that's the challenge. You know, you saw there's plenty of upsets. You know, and we've got to make sure that we go there, be far harder to beat than we have been the last 2 games, and restore a bit of pride. I think. I mean, that's the first thing. We've got to make sure that we, you know, if we have a setback, misplaced pass, or even, God forbid, a goal goes in against us, it doesn't become catastrophic, because it has done in the last 2 games where we've conceded 3 goals in a very short period of time, and that can't happen.
You just touched on it there. Those results have happened, haven't they? And I should imagine you'll be getting into your players about that. Look, Doncaster went to Sunderland, other clubs have gone to other big clubs. We've got to show what we've got. We've got to show we've got good players.
Yeah. So I said to them yesterday, look, there's a third of the season to go. It's a big old chunk of games. And there's only people in this room that's going to change it, so roll the sleeves up and we go and fight and make sure that we give us as best account of ourselves as we can.